Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a great day, and welcome to a video where we're going to be covering the latest leak about the upcoming world of Novus. Now, unlike other leaks, this one is not the traditional one that you might be familiar with, where they post something on their Twitter or put something in the game, like a pre-quest. This is an answer that a chatter got on a stream of someone that literally is a developer on the game, and this one has a lot of people talking. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So you might be asking, Sauce, what was the question that was asked? What did the chatter ask? Chatter brought up how useless shadow magic is. They basically said that shadow magic is kind of a lost cause in a lot of ways, especially in PvE. And in all reality, he's very, very right. The chatter, I mean, the 2-pip shads, you gotta wait 2 whole shads in order to do the really, really good one. And if you guys don't know, shadow rating really prevents you from gaining shads fast. And as the worlds get harder and harder, the bosses will have higher and higher shadow rating. And if their shad rating severely outpaces your shad rating, the rate at which you can gain a shad is very low. Basically, shadow pips is what we've come to expect for new spells in every world. They're just not that useful though, just off of that alone. And the developer, Cam, he actually, acknowledged that. He talked in this clip that you're about to see how basically now PvE is literally just 1 or 2 rounds of AoE.
In normal PvE, players are used to winning in 1 or 2 turns, meaning yes, Shadow Pip, you're never going to use Shadow Spells.
And I agree a lot with that clip. I think until we got raids, PvE was nothing more than just AoEing like crazy. But here's where it gets really, really nuts, and here's what this whole video is about. He then goes on to mention that there might be something new to expect in this upcoming world.
We do have plans for Shadow, the new spell for something other than Shadow.
Did y'all catch that? I feel like homie let it slip. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even think he meant to say all that. Or maybe they did. I don't know. Maybe it's like a extremely lit marketing scheme. But anyway, he was talking about how we can actually expect something other than a shadow spell this upcoming update. Now, this could only mean 2 things. This really means that either we are getting a whole new school in a world like Novus, which, I mean, maybe it's possible. But what a lot of people are talking about is they're thinking that they are going to be fusing schools because they've been doing a lot of dual school stuff. So instead of the traditional spells that we're very, very used to, right? Like, something that just has like a balanced school symbol on it, or, an astral school symbol on it, we might be getting spells that actually have 2 school symbols, meaning even without a mastery amulet, 2 schools can use power pips on it, basically. Now, why do people feel this way? There are leaks that literally have quest dialogue. I'm not going to include that in this video in case y'all don't want spoilers. We're theorizing here, but there are leaks about what might be a new type of spell that involves multiple schools. There is that. But also, I honestly think that that's actually where I was leading with or without a leak, because there is a lot of stuff that points in that direction. You don't even have to look further than the Merciless gear, right? This is where they've really started doing this, where they've picked some schools to have certain secondary schools that really complement them. And they complement them generally by working off of their Rochambeau spell. But if you look at potentially something like Life's Merciless gear, you might start seeing parallels that, yeah, there is something there. Oni's Forge, which is a fire spell, can literally set up Scion when someone shields, and fire also can use this spell in order to do Infernal Oni. Basically, there's some certain synergy based on a lot of these new Rochambeau spells that have come out more recently, and they're probably going to be trying to dive deeper into that. Now, obviously, that means a lot for PvP, which is honestly why I'm excited about it. I just don't think dual school works right now. I think a huge part of the reason why is because you need Pierce in PvP, and as they make PvE harder, we will need Pierce in PvE as well. And there's no such thing as a Pierce jewel that gives 6% life Pierce and 6% fire Pierce. Should there be? Probably. If they're even remotely serious about a dual school thing in PvP, Pierce jewels are absolutely the first place I have to start. And then from there, there's also the fact that yes, you can get boots, you can get robes, you can get hats, you can do all of that, but you really can't get Athames or rings from any source that can actually give you more damage than your primary school. Like if I wanted a ton of myth damage on my life, for example, it's very hard to do that because of the ring and the Athame. They're limitations. Early leaks of the upcoming pack seem to include Athames, rings, and decks, which is very, very new for packs. Meaning we could be opening up lore packs and getting Athames and rings. That's basically what that could mean for the upcoming pack anyways. Again, this is very early, but that could happen. But it could also mean that not only will PvP become more diverse, PvE in general might be a lot different in the world of Novus. And a lot of the art that's like been leaked so far really seems to be very reality warpy type of thing, right? There's like stuff that's like very mystical, out of the normal. So maybe what we're gonna learn is how to combine different spells. Now, what I kind of do want to see them test out first is let's just learn a spell that combines schools. But I think what might actually end up happening out of this is kind of gigantic. I think the end goal of a lot of this is to make make it so that you can learn a spell and then use spell elements to make it lean towards one school or another. So like, let's say they make like a life fire fusion spell. It could be a pet that's more heal overtime oriented and a pet that's more damage overtime oriented. Basically where if you have a heal overtime on you, you can do more damage, much like Centaur. And if you upgrade spell elements to do more damage by putting a damage overtime on your opponent, you can do more damage like the spell Phoenix. I have a feeling that this could get very, very complicated, so I hope they keep it simple at least at first, but I do think that it's very, very likely that if they do stuff with fusion spells anyways, we're gonna see a lot of stuff with spell elements that could lead to a lot more customizability than we've had up to this point. I think on the topic of shadow magic in general, I'm actually really looking forward to them not continuing with the way they've been doing shadow magic. I know that might be like a crazy take. If it's a hard boss, obviously shads are important, but I don't think shads have done a lot of good for the game. I think the creation of Shrike created such a gigantic problem in PvP in general, where basically you just need a lot. You need a lot of defense to just compete with one spell. And yes, there's backlash, and honestly, it's gotten better than it used to be. You used to literally be able to take no lash by double reducing backlash and stuff. At least they've done stuff with this where it's not the worst thing it could have been, but it's still an extremely intrusive spell. And even the fact that shads exist in general, it makes it so that you basically have spells that are way over the damage per pip. And now, obviously now, you might look at spells like this and say, oh yeah, they're needed. Even a fire can get 9k HP. But I think it's a larger case of the fact that we have 9k HP because of these spells, not the other way around. So I think exploring other routes in general and keeping shads more utility oriented would do a lot of good for the game. I think the Lemuria spells tried to do this, but then you ended up with spells that are just kind of weird, like this one, which pretty much nobody uses. This one's like an AoE that turns your blade into like it basically gives you like a prism blade, so your next balance hit does something random. It's utterly crazy to call this a good shadow spell, but this is kind of what happens when you can't scale much beyond a Mockenspiel's worth of damage for a balance. So I think for the sake of balancing and just to add something new, I think we are not going to be seeing as many shadow enhanced spells as we have up to this point. Because honestly, what's next? A 9-pip shad? Like, is that where we're going? That's crazy. At that point, it just gets too much. I think what we might be seeing fundamentally is a shift away from shadow spells to something that we haven't gotten since pretty much Avalon, which is utility spells that are lower pip. The first time we saw this was when after Azteca, they stopped giving us new spells, right? We got Scion, but really the 10 pip was where it just stopped, right? The 11 pips are conditionals. It's very different in that way. And I'm excited for that. I think if you can really double down on the 5 to 8 pip area where people really don't have many spells on any schools that are just that useful, it would be really cool to see conditionals come out. It'd be really cool to actually see a dual school strategy come out. And it'd be cool to see PvE challenges centered around using spells that aren't just shads and that you aren't just doing in 1 or 2 rounds, right? It can't be so easy that you do it so quick. It also just shouldn't be so hard that you're just spamming the shads over and over again. It's a very interesting thing. What do you guys think they meant by we're getting spells other than shads? Do you guys think, are you leading towards a new school, or are you leading towards them combining things in a dual school setup? I'm very excited to see what you guys come up with, but because honestly, I think you guys are better at this than I am. But to me, a lot of the evidence, a lot of the packs, the spellements, the Rochelle spells, all of the stuff they've done this past year seems to be leading up to the moment where multiple schools can use the same spells when they share some sort of identity, and that's exciting stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation, but I had to make a video talking about what could be one of the earliest leaks we've ever gotten for a new world. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment, drop a like if you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos every time a leak comes out, just let me know in the comments. If somebody has not told you awesome today, they do something wrong. I'll see y'all soon. Stay awesome, y'all. I look forward to reading all of your comments. Stay awesome. And yeah.